Jesus said in John chapter 9 and verse 4, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. It's a simple analogy, but in their day, you did all your work at daylight. Didn't have the benefit of fluorescent lights and incandescent lights and digital lights and whatever else gives lights nowadays. They didn't have that. They worked from sun up to sundown, and when the sun went down, the work was over and they went home. So it's a simple analogy, but obviously you know he means something much more than get the work done while it's daylight. He means, look here, everybody has the day in which they live. And everyone has a day in which they live to get his work done. But the night comes for each one of those people's generations when they can't work anymore. I don't think it's stretching anything to say that we see the shade coming down pretty quickly now, don't we? And the night is coming. But can I say something first of all tonight? It's still day. You know, we do live in an exciting time. Yes, there's apostasy and problems, and there's no denying any of that. But it's still the day. We live in a day. Paul could not get as far as we can go to get the gospel out. He didn't have the tools and the means and the method by which to do. And by the way, we in America here, you understand, we have the day of the world coming to us. Yep. They come to here now. Our mission field has found us as well as we have gone to them. So we have this day, we have this opportunity. You know, if I can say something positive about political correctness, it's hard to do. But the truth is, political correctness has opened Muslim countries that have been closed. Talking to Edgar Fagali in the Middle East and places where you could not have the gospel openly now because of political pressure. They haven't changed their laws, but they've just sort of turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to some things. And some of those countries now you have access where you did not have access before. There are things, capitalism has helped to open China. It's not open, but helped to get China more, let's say a little more deaf ear to the gospel. And now things get there. We live in a day today, dear people, where we have access. I know missionaries who want to get into the Stan countries, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, that are 99% Muslim. And they cannot go into those countries. They literally have everything shut down except the internet. And they're literally using, if you can believe this, social media to reach people in Muslim countries. I never thought there was any benefit to social media myself personally. But actually, yes. I'm just simply saying this. See, here's the thing. We can talk about the fact that the night's coming, and it's coming. I'm not denying that tonight. I'm not trying to put just a positive spin on it. I'm simply saying this. We must work while it is day. We've got to take the opportunities that are before us, the opportunities that are around us, the opportunities that God gives us. What are we seeing? We're seeing churches in America who are reaching the multicultural people who come to them, winning them to Christ, and they're going back to their country and reaching people for Christ. It's the day. We have this. It's still daylight. Gospel still works. Bible's still good. Power of God's still here. Yes. Hey, isn't it true? I'm sorry, I thought this was a Baptist church. I said, isn't it true? Isn't the gospel the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth? It still saves atheists and Muslims and Buddhists and Hindus, and it even saves Baptists. I mean, good night, people. It's still powerful. It's still day. We have the day. And while we have the day, we've got to do something with the day that we have. We can't fritter it on $200 cable bills. We can't fritter it on iPhones that we want to spend $400 or $500 on and stand in line for 9 hours to get a stupid telephone that does everything but read your intelligence. While missionaries live in mud huts and we got to waste money. It's ridiculous. We're wasting our day because the night cometh. The door that was open in Russia, it's starting to close, isn't it? What was available in the Ukraine is not as available in the Ukraine anymore. Countries that, look, in the United States of America, they're putting more restrictions on us in our own beloved nation with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. They're telling us now they're going to send the Constitution over to Iraq and Iran because we're not using it over here. I mean, it seems to me like we got this thing. Now look. Rather than talk about how dark it is getting, let's talk about how light we still have it, and let's get after it. We got things to do. Now look at me and say, well, I'm not going to another country. Okay, but now look, the average American spends $3.56 a year on missions. I said $3.56 a year on missions. We spend more money on dog food in America than we do on God's work. That's a disgrace. And nobody spends money on cat food because you ain't supposed to have them. But anyway, we won't cover that one tonight. But the truth of the matter is, it's disgusting. It's unbelievable to me that we have this opportunity. See, the truth is, I don't care what you are and what you do tonight, everybody can have a part in missions. We can do that. Maybe we ought to shut the cable off and take that and send the money to missions. How about that one? Now, I know that causes some of you panic. I know the concept of not being able to have 489,000 channels on a television set, which you can only watch one at a time. Oh no, I have split screen, Pastor John. I don't want to hear about split screen. I don't hear about 4 screens. What are you, schizophrenic? Can you watch 2 screens at one time? It's unbelievable. No, just take your Starbucks bill. How much you spend pulling into some coffee joint to get a cup of coffee that looks like dessert. I gave the fellas a bad time about the other day. Hey, listen to me, fella. There's something wrong with you driving around with a whipped cream coffee with sprinkles on it and an umbrella. Don't make fun of Californians. I don't want to hear about it. Nah, I don't drink coffee because I have character. But the truth is, you're blowing money. I'm telling the truth. Leave me alone. You're blowing money on stuff. Don't tell me you don't have any money. Luis Ramos in Mexico is telling the story of 2 ladies in his church. Their average salary was $5 to $6 a week, and they wanted to give $50 a month to missions. Well, there's no way they could do that except one. They went down, they scraped their money together, they bought a bunch of masa. Now for you huedos, that's the stuff you make tortillas from. You'll be eating it in heaven. There is Mexican food in heaven. You heard of the Chicano glory around the throne of God, brother. There's Mexican food in heaven. And they got that masa and they made tortillas. And every day after they worked their 12, 14 hours, they'd stand on the street corners and sell those tortillas. And the money they got from those tortillas, they gave to missions. Now, you don't have to go stand on a street corner, sell tortillas. But if those 2 ladies can work for 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, and sell tortillas and give their money, and they're giving $50 a month to missions. Excuse me. We have a day. We have a day, but not much longer. The night is coming. It's still not going to stop God's power and God's word and God's work, but the night is coming. Bible, Jesus said, when no man can work. Will that happen in our generation? I don't know. Will it happen in our children's generation? I don't know. We have 7 grandchildren. I fear for my grandchildren. People in my church sometimes say, preacher, why do you go so hard like that? I'll tell you why. I don't like motels. I don't like airports. I look at my grandchildren's face and I think, if we don't do something, my grandchildren are going to pay for their faith. You say you're just trying to be emotional. You are a fool of history if you do not think eventually a generation has to pay with their life and their blood for their faith. I said night is coming. Please let us do our day. Let's take care of our day. Don't just look at missions things and get a sad heart for little dark-eyed children around the world. Listen to me. Give. If you don't go, you give. Pray. Well, I hear that all the time. Well, forget hearing about it. Let's do it. We have a day. Let's take our day.